Hello world, this is Sam.
G'day.
And this is the lovely Dave Heffron.
Pleased to meet you.
And we're here in Vic's Bar having a quick chat about Dave's show, It'll All End in Spears. Any reason you chose that actual particular pun?
No, I just felt it fitted in best with the what I was wanting to talk about, and also really, hey, a pun sells a lot of stuff, to be honest.
Yeah, but it does hurt ever so slightly in your soul.
Well, I think it's also a very honest title. I mean, that's what the show's about. It doesn't end well for us.
Oh, oddly enough, that doesn't surprise me.
I know. I must admit, it's quite a difficult show to promote. And so when you go up to people and you say, "Hi, would you like to come and see this?" It's a lovely, fun knockabout show about the end of the world and how we're all going to die. But you know, I say it with such a smile in my voice, and I do a little song. You know, it's impossible to resist.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. I do appreciate a good pun, and it always is a challenge to then work out what the reality of it behind it is. So.
But then, of course, the other problem is that the more and more you write the show, then you go, oh my God, I'm just writing rubbish now. This has got nothing to do with the apocalypse. How on earth am I going to shoehorn this back in? But it all gets in there in the end.
Good, always.
There's very nearly a consistent narrative-ish.
As much as is within any
exactly.
festival show, really. A good blurb, I always feel, if you can at least touch on it, that's a good start.
Yep.
Anything else after that is really just a bonus.
Yep, I did my best.
Yeah, fantastic. So this is not your first trip to Melbourne. You were here...
4 or 5 years ago. I like to say 4 because it doesn't mean as if I've done nothing with my life ever since. So people go, how long have you been doing comedy for? Oh, a couple of years. Too long to be this unsuccessful is the correct answer. Well, I was here, I was doing the whole backpacking thing, I got it about 5 years ago, and was doing little gigs around town, and I'd been at the comedy festival, and obviously I'd been doing all the spots at the Exford and so on, all the ones where basic total strangers can rock up to it, and we'll go, so you say you're a comedian, fine, you're on in 5 minutes. And so I was speaking to a couple of guys down at the local afterwards, and Andrew McClellan said, well, we've got a fringe festival on, why not go and do that? And I had never done like a full hour-long show before, and so I went, yeah, why not? If it goes badly wrong, no one will ever find out.
Yeah. Especially on the opposite side of the world, is always a good place to do your trial shows.
I think so. If I think more people did that, they'd be a lot happier, a lot poorer. So I basically went away, wrote this hour-long thing and so on, while sitting on a beach in Byron Bay, and then basically came back up with it, and then panicked and went, is this an hour? I don't know. Is there going to be anybody there? But I was very lucky. I got a lovely review in the Age, and things kind of took off for that. But I've been desperate to get back for years. But no money. I mean, when I came across here, I mean, it's all paid for back home. I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll just take a couple of $150 out the ATM and so on, just to tide me over for a couple of days. And now when I get home, I need to sell a kidney.
Yeah, you gotta love those strong Australian dollar versus the pound. Oh, always a fantastic sort of combination.
It's been pretty grim.
So it's amazing to have you back here, because I've actually known you 7 or 8, maybe 10 years.
Yeah, oh God, it doesn't.
And I've not
no.
So it is fantastic. I remember, I have very good memories of giggling away at random things with you. Yeah. Back in Scotland, and it's fantastic that you've actually made it out here for the Melbourne Comedy Festival.
Well, hopefully this is the first of many.
I really hope so too. So you're at the Elephant and Wheelbarrow.
Yep, that's right. 6:15 every day except for Wednesdays.
Yep.
And yeah, so 6:15. So leave office quickly, sneak out, leave your coat in the chair, come and see the show. Yeah, it's the Elephant and Wheelbarrow's been fantastic to me. So yeah, hopefully be back next year.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, David. It's
no worries.
Awesome to see you in Melbourne. I hope you have a fantastic rest of the festival.
Me too.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay. So, hello world.
Hi.
Hello, I'm Sam. Hi. This is part of Word of Mouth Reviews, and this is the lovely Ben McKenzie.
Oh, too kind.
And Toby. And so Toby.
This is Toby.
This is Toby. Toby has featured feature parts, I believe, in one of the shows you've got on unofficially during Comedy Festival.
It is unofficial this year, that's true. Yes.
Dungeon Crawl.
That's right.
So, tell us about Dungeon Crawl, briefly.
Well, it's pretty simple, really. If you know what Dungeons and Dragons is, then it's that, but with comedians on stage. And if you don't know what Dungeons and Dragons is, it's a bunch of comedians on stage pretending to kill monsters and steal their money.
Okay, so pretty much, whether you know or not, it's all good.
Yeah, oddly enough, because we did 2 different Dungeons and Dragons shows in the last couple of years, and we thought this one would be the most nerdy, the most inaccessible to people who didn't know. It turns out completely the opposite, because while the setup is Dungeons and Dragons, the gags are just whatever people think of at the time. A lot of them based on popular culture, a lot of them just very stupid. It's just a lot of fun, so we find people come along they've never played and they dig it, so that's nice.
Cool. Has it ever gotten completely out of control, or do you actually keep a reasonably tight rein over?
I don't keep too tight a rein. It's no point in having guests if you tell them what to do all the time. But it does sometimes get out of control. My favourite one was probably the last one we did in the Fringe season last year in 2010, when the collective crew, I think it was Karen Wozniaks and Casey Bonetto and Andrew McClelland, and I don't remember who the 4th person is, so maybe you should cut this description of who it was out. But they decided that the real enemy was not in fact the bad guys but the Dungeon Master, and they all defeated me at the end. It was great.
Okay. But you obviously recovered to actually fight another day.
No, we ended that game with me dying, but
okay.
That's all right. The Dungeon Master can come back from the dead because he makes up the rules. So
which is quite a powerful position to be in. Have you ever been tempted just to completely ruin someone's life existence within the scope of
the game?
Well,
it's tempting, but both my experience as an actual Dungeon Master, because I do actually play real Dungeons and Dragons and other role-playing games. Dungeons and Dragons is not my favourite, but my experience doing that and doing impro is that you always say yes. So generally, if someone says, "I'm going to try this," unless what they're doing is going to completely derail everything that happens, I will just say, yes, that's fine. But which is not to say I'm not nasty to them sometimes. We have nearly killed a couple of characters. And someone might die in tonight's show. You never know.
You never know.
I'm just saying we've got one more person than we normally have.
Oh.
No, that's fine. I'm sure they'll be safe.
Well, reasonably anyway.
Watch out, Dave Bluestein. No, he'll be fine. Yeah.
So that's up at Trades Hall?
Yep, Wednesday nights, late night, 11 o'clock.
Oh, fantastic.
And it's a later night to fit in with the Bella Union's schedule and the comedy festival in general. We moved it to late night when doing it every week. But last week was a bit weird. It was the first week of the festival, and because most shows hadn't opened, certainly not in Trades Hall, it was a bit quiet around. But we had our hardcore audience show up, and they had a good time. So if you see any of them, ask them. They'll tell you, come to Dungeon Crawl. They're nice.
And officially within the Comedy Festival, you are also involved in the museum comedy?
Yes, that's right. That's my little baby, museum comedy.
So that's been running for several years now.
This is our 4th year in the Comedy Festival, and it's always been basically the same thing. We did the Melbourne Museum comedy tour. Last year we also tried another thing called Lunchtime Comedy, which was sort of short comedy lectures on various history and science topics. So this year we're just sticking to the tour. Yeah.
Cool. Do you get many people coming back year after year? Or
I've seen a fair few familiar faces. I don't know how many of them came back last year, because last year I didn't actually take the tour myself, I just produced it. So I had a year off, which is good because it meant nobody heard my style. So hopefully that means they're ready for me to come back this year. But we've had a few people who come back every year.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just nice.
I did go, I think a couple of years ago I went along, and it was nice to for me, it was really nice to see the museum in a completely different way.
Yeah.
Because it's rare that I get to go to the museum, I keep wanting to. Yeah. But to be there and to actually have this whole, basically it's set out for me, and then go into weird territory is just hilarious, and a really nice feeling to actually be there.
We like to think that, so far the evidence suggests that what we do is we get people who do go to the museum a lot, and they like to come and see it, again, like you say, from a different perspective. We also get people who've been meaning to go to the museum or haven't got around to it, and they like it as well. And it is that creepy sort of, we're here and the rest of the place is closed, there's no one else here kind of vibe. Even though it's quite early, my secret hope is that this year we do a midnight show on Halloween, and that'll be really freaky. That's what Toby might be there, is all I'm saying.
And if you do that, I want to be there.
Okay, yeah, yes. We'll work it out. We'll work it out. But I mean, the challenge is because even though it's a huge space, you can't just fill it with people, because you've got to take them around to all the different things, which is why we ended up doing it the way we do, where we split people into 3 different groups, because that way we can have a lot of people. So I've really no idea how we'll make that work with one show at midnight on one day. That's quite a challenge, but we'll see what happens.
Cool. Well, thank you, Ben. Thank you very much for having a quick chat with us about the Live the Universe Comedy Festival and other things, all things comedy. Hopefully we'll all get around to seeing you at the museum or at Dungeon Crawl or at any of your other projects that I'm sure are going to be fantastic.
There should be a few more this year, I hope. Yes,
good.
Definitely.
I hope to see them.
All right. Thank you very much.
Hi punters, Steve from Word of Mouth Reviews. For the people that don't know me, I'm a real big fan of musical comedy, and tonight I'm really happy to have one of my favourites, Geraldine Quinn, so please thank her for coming down. Hooray!
I can't hear them.
I can't hear them. They're not making enough noise, people. Alright, so...
I can't hear you through the internet.
Excellent, excellent. Look, congratulations on the show. We've all seen it and think it's really, really excellent.
Thank you for coming.
That's okay. When you tell us to, we come.
Yeah, that's gonna read well.
Yeah.
Like I told you to come, not that you wanted to come.
No, it was purely on your performance. It was awesome. So tell us a bit about your show this year.
Excuse me, I'm sucking on something. It's a show about. It's called You're the Voice, Songs for the Ordinary by an Anthemaniac, and it's about rock anthems about glorious ordinary things, and that most of us are gloriously ordinary.
Yes, we're big fans of Ordinary. Mainly because we are, but never mind. So it's at the Town Hall. It's on at 9:30. Obviously an hour early on Sunday. How have you been finding it? The crowds have been good numbers?
Having a Moosehead, being an award recipient is the correct phrasing. I haven't won anything. I'm a recipient of a Moosehead award. It's made a huge difference because people are in there.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely a good sign. We need to go to so much effort and work into the music and...
I wouldn't have been able to do all the publicity as well.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be able to afford half of the stuff that they've been able to do, which has meant that I can ramp up the costumes and I can ramp up the backing tracks and I can have the time with Casey as a director to actually work on the material as opposed to organising the photo shoot, designing it all myself, writing it, doing all the backing tracks myself badly, and doing everything else. So it's just been a huge difference. None of that's interesting to your viewers.
No, it is, because it's the things that we talk about when we're, after we've seen the show, and we just wondered in fact we were talking about it before, what the difference was between the support you get from one show to the other with the Moosehead recipient. Yes.
I am a Moosehead Award recipient, yes. Well, the publicity for a start. They pay for a publicist. I can't afford a publicist. I afforded a publicist once, and it was they did their best, but I just found I couldn't cut through.
No.
And now Moosehead's got such a history behind it that people are sort of interested as to who the winners are.
Yeah.
And what was it about their show?
Sure.
And innovative about their show that made them successful in that quest. Because bear in mind, I have applied for 5 or 6 years.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's the with the Moosehead, you have to apply a script, and so it's not. They see your show from last year and recommend it or anything like that.
You have to put in a pitch. It's based on the concept of the show.
Right, okay.
It's not based on who you are. It's
okay.
the concept of the show. And who you are to the extent of can you
perform
pull it off.
That piece. Right, okay.
So to speak.
Yes, excellent. Cool. Now also you're going to be doing Spandex Ballet 2 nights at Hi-Fi Bar.
Yep.
So everybody's looking forward to that. All my friends are going. They're really interested in it. It's
awesome. Desperately hoping that my voice isn't just going to cave in just before Spandex Ballet. But I have guests. So
yes. So that's
Spandex Ballet is the epic rock cover band. It's not glam. It's not 70s. It's epic rock that can be from any era.
Yep.
So that's a very important distinction, which I think some people have missed.
Yes. And that's on the 8th and the 22nd of April.
That's
and it's at the
correct.
Hi-Fi Bar.
It's at the Hi-Fi Festival.
And it's quite late, isn't it?
It's quite
after
late.
all the comedy and stuff. It's
12-ish midnight. Yeah, it was 12:30. I think we hit the stage, but we've got guests confirmed for the first week include Casey Bonetto and James from Dead Cat Bounce, and Wes Snelling's going to pop in,
awesome.
and Scott Brennan and Geraldine Hickey and South Australian comedian Laurie Bell. And next week I'm talking to some Little Red Dots, and I'm talking to some other people.
All right. Excellent. That's right. We might annoy you sometime later in the week.
The second show, which is a fortnight after.
Yes, the 22nd show. Yeah, no, excellent. And also doing Trade Aid. Cure.
I think I've done every trade aid except the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I've become a veteran.
Yes.
So I got my way with my song, and I've gone, and then got really busy with the show. And went, I've got to do that.
No, excellent. So we're all looking forward to that. Tickets at Trades Hall.
Did you go up with The Cure?
Yeah.
I was just listening to the Smiths before on the way up here. I think I had so much epic rock that I had to listen to Billy Bragg and the Smiths on the way up, going,
I'm the direct opposite. Once I get into comedy, it's like Dead Cat Bounce. I've just got their latest CDs. I've been listening to that all festival.
I've got some
old
wonderful
Tripod stuff. Yeah, so send me
name
your
a
old
Tripod
stuff.
song, by the way. What's the most famous Tripod song you can think of? You're a music nerd.
Well,
music
I often liked Stalk You. I liked a lot of their older stuff that they used to play at the Pat during Shoe Show.
Back when they started.
Yes, that's right. That's when I had
I like
Alive.
the old stuff better than the new stuff. And what was the name of the one with the PlayStation? The PlayStation song. What's the PlayStation song?
It was probably called the PlayStation song.
No, it's one where he was going, "Hey baby, I'll be with you."
No.
It's not called that. It's called something like.
It was off one of their latest ones.
I'm going to treat you right, or something like that.
Yes.
Obviously, I'm a big fan of their work.
Yeah, I'm terrible with names. I forget my own half the time anyway.
I do love Tripod.
Yeah, excellent.
Just want to make sure that didn't come across wrong.
No. I'm sure we'll edit that out. We don't know how to edit yet, but we'll work out a way.
Right.
Cool.
Well, you just insert little flashing subtitles underneath saying, block your ears now.
Put fingers in the ears now.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, we have had two questions. The first question, and literally nearly everybody has asked this, where did you get your shoes from your costume?
Whose questions are these?
These are people who have seen... Yeah, that's right. Well, I don't have a life, so it's just people I know.
The guy who makes my costumes used to work in drag, and used to not only making stuff for drag, but was in drag, and he now does couture stuff and freelance, a lot of bizarre freelance stuff. And I got onto him through drags.
Yep.
And he had a whole bunch of those shoes that he had bought in a job lot in various sizes. And when we were doing a photo shoot that we'd done recently with me with all this taxidermy and stuff, that's his house, we went down and we just rifled through his bags and bags and bags of costumes and shoes to find anything. And he said, I bought them for a show and we never sort of used them. They're sort of new and they were cheap. Do you want to just pick one that's your size?
Awesome.
And I never got time to go and get shoes for the show. So I ended up going... I was really adamant not to wear a heel or an open toe that was a bit girly because I'm already in masses of tulle. So I sort of went, well, it's got to be a little bit rock. I need a boot, and I need a smallish boot. And then I went, I haven't got time, they'll do. And now they seem to be part of the costume. Till I destroy them.
No, a lot of the girls mentioned it, and one of the first things I didn't notice, I didn't really notice it.
The guy who makes my costumes has got smaller feet than me. He's a man.
The second question we had was, everybody loves the songs. They want to know if it's going to be on a CD or a DVD, or you might...
Oh, look, I just pure and simple ran out of time to get anything recorded and pressed or printed. So, of course I did. I haven't even got a piece of paper that's got my website on it. Usually I'm rock badges and all that sort of stuff. So I just plain ran out of time. But it's all... We've got all the backing tracks that Casey's worked on, and I've had guest musicians come in, including Sonia Horbelt, who's in Spandex Ballet, and Martin Lubrin, who's also in Spandex Ballet, have come in and donated their time. I hope they know they were donating it, or it's going to be awkward next when we get on stage at the Hi-Fi. So hopefully it wouldn't take much more than a good lead.
So sometime after the festival might be a project to do.
It might be, and it might be maybe with the relaunch of the new website, because the website's being redesigned as well.
Excellent.
Yeah, I've got a logo. Take that, dear Punta. I have a logo. Actually, it's the same guy who did your logo. He's very good.
Excellent, excellent. And are you thinking about doing this in any of the other festivals?
I didn't do it in Adelaide Fringe because I didn't want to rush it.
Yep.
And I think that was a very wise choice. I did pitch it to Adelaide Cabaret, but never heard anything, so I'll probably pitch it again next year.
Yep.
And go, hey, didn't hear anything. Hi, Kate Sobrano. Hi, new director. But other than that, I have no plans.
Right. Yeah.
If somebody would like to pick it up, then please feel free.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, doing it in a fringe capacity with that much tulle is going to be a challenge.
Yep.
But it's a fun show because I get to run around the room a bit.
Yeah.
Just enough.
Just enough to.
Yeah, and I've got a couple of spots coming up at bigger venues that I'm going, I'm going to miss running around the room.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to jump off that stage and assault somebody.
No. No, run up to the tech
I
desk.
don't assault anybody in the show.
No, none that we'd say. You'd have to go to the show to see.
No.
But
there's not a lot of safe places, really, in the show.
No.
If you really hate performers getting off a stage, I don't touch any of you.
No, and you don't make anybody uncomfortable apart from one person in the front.
Apart from one person who might be in the front or might not be in the front.
Yeah.
Don't say in the front because no one won't sit in the front. This is a bit like when you said you told us to come to your show. Like it doesn't sound good.
Okay. We'll cut that part as well. Cool. All right. Now this has gone way longer, so we really want to thank you for speaking to us.
It's all right.
We'll probably cut this up and do a couple of bits and play them over 2 times. See how it goes. But again, thank you very much for your time.
No, that's right. I was delaying putting on the corset, basically.
Glad that